Hey everybody, this is Perch, and let's take a look at the new comics coming out August 4th. Obviously, this is normally a segment for the live stream, but while I'm traveling, I want to get this stuff out there so people at least can get a sense of what's coming down the pipe. And get excited about everything that's not just Marvel, DC, Image, although we have two of those represented here on this home screen, so that's kind of awkward on my part. But let's take a look. First off, as just a general summary, this week, August 4th, we are getting 106 new comics, which is unfortunately kind of the average. If we look at what's coming out in the month of August, we've got most weeks are about like this. We have a couple that are or 1 week, I guess, that's going into the 140s. So that's exciting. 34 publishers, again, that's pretty typical. Marvel, DC, Image, and Dark Horse make up the biggest amounts of publishing. And here's something interesting. This week, DC is putting out more comics than Marvel, which again, not to kind of beat a drum too much, but DC was, and everybody thinks I'm taking shots at people who said DC was shutting down in July. I'm not even doing that. I'm just saying that at one point, Marvel was absolutely glutting the comic shelves with comics. And so it's interesting to see DC matching them or, frankly, this week, one issue higher. For the month of August, the entire month, DC is publishing one fewer comic book than Marvel is, which is I don't know, maybe it's just me. I can't quite get over that. 36 number one issues next week, quite a lot, 34%, a little bit more than a third of all the comics coming out next week are number one issues. And the amount of comics past number 50, four. And I think two of them belong to DC maybe. Anyway, four. So let's get into what we have coming out. So comics, starting up right out, DC. DC I have here first because technically DC does come out a day earlier, August 3rd, not August 4th. And here's what we have coming out from DC. American Vampire is wrapping up. Scott Snyder's story here. Batman is wrapping into Fear State. We have a couple other, Crime Syndicate is coming to an end. That's been a series people have kind of liked. In Green Lantern, apparently everybody's favorite Green Lantern, Jo, is taking on the entire Sinestro Corps by herself. So she's amazing. We have the Get Joker number one issue about the characters who took a dump on Nancy Pelosi's desk. Not a joke, that's in the comic. And we get a few other things here. Nice House on the Lake continuing, the Joker puzzle box number one. Why DC would put out Get Joker and Joker Presents a Puzzle Box on the same week is, I don't know, it's a little beyond me, but whatever. So a couple other things there. Absolute Comics Group with Wayward Legends and Wayward Sons. Those are good little comics. They're definitely under the radar for a lot of people, but worth checking out as well. Moving on to our next page, we have a handful of things from Action Lab. Citizen number one looked pretty good from the preview pages I saw. Ahoy Comics has Wrong Earth Night and Day, which has been popular with a number of people. Antarctic Press bringing two of the higher number books with Ninja High School and Gold Digger both in there. And AWA Studios, Not All Robots number one. That's a really nice looking title. Really appreciate the preview look at that. So I think that's something to check out. Pretty exciting. Moving on, we've got a handful of things. Binge Books with Heroes Union is pretty solid. That's something to kind of check out. We have Boom doing a handful of things here with Basilisk. We have another Buffy issue. The Magic the Gathering has been doing fairly well, I think, for Boom, all things considered. Seven Secrets has started off to a pretty big bunch of acclaim, but it's gotten a little quieter as well. Dark Horse mentioned they have a few things here. Cyberpunk 2077. We have Ginny Zero. Worst Dudes 3 of 5 has been a fun little series if you're into that kind of stuff. And then moving on, halfway through, Dynamite, a few things. Elvira meets Vincent Price, number one. Heavy Metal Magazine has a couple of things coming out, Never Never and Black Beacon. Both had pretty decent number one issues, worth looking at. Over in IDW, Transformers there. We have Best of Casey Jones. Obviously, No, that's just a joke. Actually, there was a big typo on the solicitation cover for April O'Neil, so I'm poking a little fun at it there with J.C. Cones. But Image We have Commanders in Crisis, the penultimate issue number 11 of 12. Firepower that is pretty solid. Geiger, which has been a good read. I've enjoyed Geiger. It's just fun, solid comics. I really like it. And a few others. Me You Love in the Dark had an interesting preview issue. Stillwater, obviously, a number of people enjoy that. Skybound X is coming to its slow conclusion, and a handful of books coming out. A Good Asian is an excellent series. So if you aren't reading that, that's a really solid, good pulpy kind of comic. Over here, We Promised Utopia. There's a lot of books like We Promised. I don't know why that seems to be a thing. Like I promised you darkness. We promised peacefulness. Now we promised utopia. Anyway, I'm sure it's a good comic. Over in Marvel, we get the next issue to the Red Hulk, She-Hulk, World War She-Hulk. That's what it is. So She-Hulk being red and part of the Russian Black Widow program. We have the first issue of Deadpool, Black, White, and Blood. Why not? Extreme Carnage still going on. We have Hellions, which is, for some people, their favorite X book right now. The Immortal Hulk, the second to last issue here in Al Ewing's run. We have Sinister War, which has gotten some pretty good acclaim. A couple Star Wars are still doing this bounty hunters business. It goes on forever. And the second issue of X-Men number 2. We'll find out if they have a second treehouse somewhere. Invader Zim has a book out from Oni, a one-shot. And 2000 AD has a one-shot from Picturesque Publishing. Finally, over here that's Zenoscope right there in the cover. I didn't remember Zenoscope doing the black bar nude type cover variants, but apparently they do. I don't know how I missed that. Anyway, Scout Comics Locust is a pretty solid little book. I definitely would check that out. And the preview pages I saw for We Don't Kill Spiders also was pretty solid. So those are good books to check out. Titan Comics Horizon Dawn, it's got a new book, Life is Strange. Vault with Engine Ward is there. Wake Ascendia, and like I mentioned, Zenoscope. Belldragon Clan, I think, is there. Maybe this is Van Helsing. I'm not sure which Zenoscope title this is. We have the preview for. Over in manga, it's a pretty stacked week of things. We've got Black Clover, Chainsaw Man, Demon Slayer, and Promised Neverland books all coming out. I think these are all coming out from Viz, and this is a strong lineup. This is going to generate a hell of a lot of sales. And the more kind of unusual side, we have We Never Learn, which, solid. Rent a Girlfriend, okay. Sweat and Soap, which just sounds confusing. And Something's Wrong with Us, which probably sums up all of us here who contribute and watch this channel. Anyway, that's the summary of both manga and comics. I'm going to change this up a little bit to show all the manga, not just kind of 8 titles that I pull out of thin air, but show all the stuff that's coming out from them. And that's what this week, August 4th, looks like. So have I forgotten anything? I don't think. Oh, right. Dynamite. Dynamite covers are a little bit more subdued this time. We've got a couple of Vampirilla covers there. We definitely have that Elvira Vincent Price. Elvira always, to me, reminds me of Peg Bundy. I just can't not see that aspect of it. But definitely, a mix of things going on for old Dynamite next week. But a lot of good comics. I hope there were some here that you're reading. So let me know in the comments below, which ones are you buying? What do you have pulled? What's interesting to you? And what are you looking forward to more of? Love to know in the comments. Otherwise, hey, like and subscribe. This is what you can look forward to this week. Thanks for listening.